What's up everybody, welcome, my name is Delumiaa and this will be my beginner's guide for Vengeance Demon Hunter in the War Within Mythic Plus. I am currently 3.2k rating, so I do think that I have a good base knowledge of tanking with VDH. We're gonna start off with the talents, which I'm gonna go through very shortly and just show you what you can change and what works and doesn't work. Then we're gonna go over the different DRs, which is damage reductions that you have, and your defensives, and also the base rotation in how you deal damage and at the same time survive as a VDH. So let's start with the talents. We do have, this is the basic talent tree that most people are playing, I would say. I'm gonna link this one in the description, of course. So looking at the Demon Hunter tree, the only thing that I really do change here is usually Demon Muscle, which is just 8% reduced magic damage. You can move that to Imprison if that's needed, like for Theater of Pain. Sometimes in Cinderbrew it can be useful as well. And then we do have on the Vengeance tree, if you really do feel like you are lacking survivability, you can move Focus Cleave to Soulmonger instead to gain a shield whenever you soak soul fragments when you're at full health. It can help you a little bit if you are struggling with survival. And then we do have the main thing with Aldrachi is probably the Reaver's Glaive. And how this works is that for every 20 souls that you consume, your Throw Glaive turns into Reaver's Glaive. And with Aldrachi, when you, after throwing your Reaver's Glaive, when you use your 2 enhanced Soul Cleave and Fracture, it will then start to give you Thrill of the Fight. And this is the buff that you want to keep up as much as possible. As much as you possibly can, just keep this up. And then you can also, if you are having a lot of haste or you're bloodlusting, you can also, even if you proc your Reaver's Glaive and you have Thrill of the Fight active, keep on soaking in souls, because then your next Reaver's Glaive will do even more cleave damage. So for every soul that you consume over the 20, it's gonna increase the damage of the Reaver's Glaive. But Thrill of the Fight is very important to try to keep up, so try to track that with a weak aura or something to make sure that you don't miss it. And that's the main thing with the talents, I would say. And then looking at your defensives, we can go through them. You have Metamorphosis, which transforms you and increase your current health by 40% and your armor by 200, so that's a really big defensive. And then we have Demon Spikes, and this is the one that you want to keep 100% uptime on. So what you want to do is to get at least 20k haste. That's the least amount of haste that you want to have to be able to keep your Demon Spikes up at 100%. And that increases your parry by 10% and increases your armor. And then we have Darkness, which is a great AoE defensive for your group, which gives your friendly targets a 15% chance to avoid all damage, and also a chance to avoid damage increased by 100% when you're not in raid. And then we have your Chaos Nova, which is this AoE stun, and it also has a chance to grant you soul fragments. Then we have your Sigil of Silence, AoE silence, really efficient together with your Sigil of Chains, which will pull everything together. So if you chain and then you AoE silence, it's a really powerful usage of that. And then we have Fell Devastation, which will deal AoE damage but also heal you when you use it. And then you have Fiery Brand, and this one is a big defensive and also damage increase. It's a DR for 40% for 12 seconds, and it also increases your damage dealt to the target by 30%. Then you have Sigil of Flame, which is a really good thing to use when you pull packs, and also in a boss fight before a tank buster is gonna hit you, because then you also have enemies deal 80% reduced damage after being afflicted by sigils. And then we do have Sigil of Spite. This one is also really good. It will do AoE damage and also shatter 3 lesser soul fragments from enemies. So if you use this, and then you're gonna have a whole lot of souls to collect with your soul cleave. So that's the thing you do. Your Fracture will hurt enemies to give you souls, and you collect them with soul cleave. So your souls heal you as well when you collect them. And then we have Immolation Aura, and this one should be used off CD all the time. It increases your armor by 20% and also deals damage to everybody around you. So really use that at all times. Very important. And looking at the throw glaive then, so if you don't have a Reaver's Glaive ready, you can always use the hunt to give you a Reaver's Glaive immediately. And this one is also important because this one invigorates your soul, so healing you for 25% of the damage you deal with the hunt as well. So it's also a heal. But yeah, looking at the rotation, I'm gonna try to do this as simple as I can. And hopefully it's gonna be understandable. But yeah, so before you pull, really good to Demon Spikes, Immo Aura, and put a Sigil down. And that way you have DR going immediately. You can also Firebrand when you pull to get really good DR. And then you Fracture, Soul Cleave, Soul Cleave, Fracture, Soul Cleave, Fracture, Soul Cleave, Immo Aura, Demon Spikes up at all times. Then we can use Sigil of Spite, Fracture for more souls, and now I have a Reaver's Glaive. So what I can do now is I throw that one, and then I use my empowered ones, and you can see now that I have Thrill of the Fight. So now I do more damage and everything, and the hunt, so now we have it active again. I still have my attack speed up for another 5 seconds. So we throw it now, and then we use them again. So this way you just keep it rolling. And if you just rotate Soul Cleave and Fracture and keep your Demon Spikes up, Immo Aura, Fiery Brand, Pro Glaive, and this way you will have a good amount of healing and survivability at all times. I suggest getting weak auras. I can try to link the ones I'm using to track my Reaver's Glaive, but also my DR and my Demon Spikes. And if you're struggling with getting aggro in the beginning, it's really good to pull with Sigil, and you can also use your Infernal Strike to jump into the pack and do damage that way. And also, Fell Devastation is a good way to get aggro as well on big packs. But yeah, so rotating your Reaver's Glaive like that is very important for your damage and healing. So rotating Reaver's Glaive, Immo Aura, the Hunt, Demon Spikes, if you're really struggling, Metamorphosis, and you should be good. I promise you, you're gonna do good. That's the basic things to stay alive as a demon hunter, knowing how to rotate your souls. Just Fracture to get souls, Sigil give you souls, Immo Aura give you souls, Spite give you souls, and then Soul Cleave to stay alive. I really hope that this one can help you get into tanking on VDH. If you found it helpful, please make sure that you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more guides and content like this, and catch me live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. And until next time, I hope you have a really wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.
Fingers dancing on the keys so fast. Build the skills that are built to last. Every click, every move so tight. Practice all day till we get it right. One macro a day makes you stronger, they say. Keep on grinding, don't you ever sway. Level up, rise above the fray. One macro a day to improve your gameplay.